Definitely one of the most exciting updates coming to Starfield, hopefully soon, besides of course the Shattered Space DLC, is land vehicles. Now these were confirmed by Bethesda not too long ago, and it surprised a lot of people, myself included. I really didn't think that they'd ever bother adding in land vehicles just because I felt that that was the style of the game, and if they really wanted to do it, they would have done it at launch. But I'm so glad that they are doing it, because let's face it, we need them. As much as I love Starfield, walking around exploring an empty planet can get a bit boring when you've done it like 100 times that day. And this alone really just shows how much Bethesda have been listening to the community. Now one thing I have been very curious about ever since the original announcement of these Land Rover things is how the hell are they even going to work? I mean, yeah, of course we could imagine that we just simply click like an enter button, get in the vehicle and then start driving. But obviously, I mean, beyond that. Are we going to have to fuel these up? I doubt it, but it could be possible. Where the hell are these things going to be kept on our ships? Because most landing bays in Starfield are nowhere near big enough to fit 1 or 2 vehicles, and that's another thing. Can we have multiple land vehicles? Or is there just one default one for everybody? If so, can we customize our default land vehicle? Do we have to buy them, or are they in the game already? Maybe we need a special landing bay in order to have a vehicle. Or maybe the vehicle just spawns outside of our ship and we pretend that Vasco pulled it out for us while we were exiting our ship. And that brings up another topic. Can we ride these around cities? If so, how will that work? Well, of course, I'm going to attempt to answer some of these questions based on the evidence we have and just what I feel Bethesda might do. Now look, about fueling these up, I think that that's just a very simple and obvious no. We don't even have to refuel our ships, so I highly doubt that they're going to bother making us do this for land vehicles. Now, as for where it's stored, I really hope it isn't the case of needing a special landing bay in order to have a vehicle. To me, that would really suck because it just means changing our already made designs, and I do think that it will be the case of the vehicle is just already outside the ship when you exit your ship. Kind of like Vasco, right? If you have Vasco as a crew member on your ship, whenever you exit the ship, he's already just standing there waiting outside for you, in case you need his assistance. And I think it will work like that. Hopefully they'll add in some new voice line from Vasco where he says your vehicle is ready for you or something, just to kind of give the immersion that, yeah, he pulled it out for you before you came downstairs. And when it comes to customization, this could really go two ways. Bethesda clearly know how much we love to customize things, especially our ships, so maybe they have added in a new way to customize our land vehicles, even if it is just a simple thing like changing the vehicle's paint colour. On the other hand, would they really go through this amount of trouble in a free update? In the footage that we have of the land vehicle, we only see this one, so at the moment it's impossible to determine whether we'll be able to customize them or not. Sadly, I don't think that we will be able to, but hey, we can always hope, right? And of course, we always have modders. Now, another thing that's kind of difficult to come up with a real answer on is, will we have to buy them, or will we just update our game and yay, suddenly everyone has land vehicles? I think that we'll just get them in an update, unless there are multiple ones that we can choose from. Then I definitely think we'll have to go somewhere and buy them. Probably the ship technicians will just sell them. It would be cool to have different types. I've expressed how much I would love to have a speeder bike in Starfield, hopefully one that hovers much like the hover bikes from Star Wars. I think that these just look really cool, and if we got something like that for Starfield, I would be really happy. But even if it is just all similar land vehicles, it would be cool to have different types. And I think that this is not only likely, but also makes sense. If they're bringing into law that it's normal for everyone to have a land vehicle, why wouldn't ship companies like Stroud, HopeTech, Deimos, and all of the others make land vehicles too? But then that does make me actually worry a little bit. If Bethesda do this, what if your land vehicle just depends on which landing bay you have? In my opinion, that would be a really bad way for Bethesda to do this. Just because it's limiting, right? Say on the day of the update, you Google all of the new land vehicles, again assuming that there is more than one, and you see one that you think is cooler than all the rest. Let's say you see a HopeTech one, for example, and then you go into the game and learn that in order to get the HopeTech one, you have to change your landing bay to a HopeTech landing bay. Obviously, I'm just using an example and I'm completely speculating here, but that would just be really restricting, and I really wouldn't like that myself. Ideally to me, ship technicians would just get a new let's see what land vehicles you have option. From there you will be able to look at and at least slightly customize land vehicles, even if it is just a paint job. We buy whichever one we want, or maybe we can buy multiple, and then we go to our ship's menu and we can assign one land vehicle per ship. That's just how I think it should ideally work. Oh yeah, another thing that I'm really curious about with this update is companions and other NPCs. If I get on my land vehicle and just take off, will my companion just run behind me, chasing me? That would be very laughable, but honestly I unfortunately do think that that's very likely, just because I don't see them coming up with ways for Vasco to have his own land vehicle or something like that. But it would be great if our normal sized, shall we say, companions could ride next to us in a passenger seat or something. When it comes to NPCs, like enemies, I really do hope that we see other characters using these, especially in fights. I just think it would be really cool, like maybe if we shoot a land vehicle while an enemy's riding towards us, it will blow up or something like that. But anyway, look, that's pretty much all I have to say on this future update. Of course, we're going to just have to wait and see for most of this stuff. But either way, if you did enjoy the video, I kindly ask that you leave it a like and consider subscribing if you do want to stay fully up to date on absolutely everything Starfield. Lastly, as always, a huge, massive thank you to all of our channel members. The support really means the world, guys, so thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you next time. Peace.